Welcome to the first episode of Sheltered in Place, or Placed in Shelter as I like to call it. I will be your host, Ryan Catarozoli. What I would like to do is create what I'm calling a Zoom cast, and the format is going to be as follows. That same link that I sent out is going to give you the ability to log in every day. We're going to do a 3 p.m. because I feel like it's best for everybody's time frame, and I'm going to do a short topic discussion, something that's easy for everybody. So it's going to be short, it's going to be brief. Hopefully it's not going to be too in-depth. I know there is going to be a home for that. For example, I had a few ideas like nuts and bolts with Dan Frigo, or perhaps how to build a watch with Edward Nunn. I think two of my coworkers could get into some real in-depth conversation about equipment, but I want to keep it a little bit lighter. I want to talk about a brief topic, and then afterwards you're going to have an opportunity to ask some questions. The other opportunity you have to interact every day is to email me different topics that you'd like to hear us talk about. And if your topic is chosen, then what we'll do is go ahead and give you a shout out in the beginning of the video. So without further ado, the episode today is going to be to-go options. And when I talk about to-go options, what I want to do is talk about three main pieces. So number one, what is going to be the different options out there and what your level of investment is going to be. And then number two, we're going to talk about what I would consider the best value in this space moving forward. And then last but not least, kind of what the future of that looks like. Followed up by a brief question and answer period. And then from that, you guys will be on your way. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to show you a few of the options that we have. So what I like to say is option number one. Option number one is going to be the minimal option. So as the minimal option, we're talking about a shelf, something very, very basic, something that's easy. You can buy it off the counter. You can customize it to have as many shelves as you like and fit the space that you're looking for. Now, pros, you're obviously going to be low cost. You're not going to spend a ton of money. You're not going to have a ton of space invested, and you're also not going to utilize a lot of your infrastructure. You don't have to build a wall around this thing. What are some of the cons? Well, the big ones that jump out to me are going to be your food quality, along with the food safety and security, right? As I place food on there, there's nobody around really policing who's grabbing what. If there's two receipts with the name Ryan and I'm not paying a lot of attention, which I probably do more so than not, I might grab the wrong food. So there are some cons to this particular option, but it's an option nonetheless. The next is going to be what I consider more of your intermediate option. And with this option, you are looking at more of a heated option. So whether that's a heated cabinet or a heated shelf with some overhead heat as well. What are some of your pros here? Well, again, cost is going to be down. I still consider it a low cost option because you're not going to be investing a ton of dollars, but you're still going to spend a little bit more, show that you care about your to-go food a little bit more so than just placing it on a shelf. Your hold times increase, the food quality is going to be better. Now, most of these options you're looking at are still going to be back of the house options. It's not going to be something that you place in the front of the house because you're not going to have your customers going in and grabbing on these. You're going to have some power requirements. For example, the GRBW on the left will have an exposed heating element above it. You wouldn't want any of your customers reaching up and grabbing that, a child or something like that. So there are some issues there. As we move forward, we do have what I would consider more of your advanced, and what the advanced looks like is going to be more of a locker system. Okay, so what are your big benefits here? Well, with a locker system, immediately off the bat, you're going to go ahead and get a food security, you're going to get a food safety, you're going to have hold times that are extended. You also have something that looks good in the front of the house. This is an option that you can place in a lobby area, in a front vestibule. You could actually build this in between a wall. For example, the picture that you're seeing here is actually a wall-mounted unit. And actually it would be a pass-through that would be built into a wall. So what are some of the downfalls? Well, obviously you have cost to consider here. It's going to be a lot more expensive than running out to the store and purchasing a shelf or even a heated base, for example, to put your product on. So the other thing here is if you do want to build it into a wall, you have to consider some of the infrastructure there. Operationally, it's going to take a little bit more than having my employee just come over and place food on a shelf or grab it from the back of the counter. Here, we would have to teach them how to walk over and manually place food in the locker and enter in a few things on the passcode or on the screen itself. Once you put that information in there and you teach that operational stage, then the unit's going to be up and running and you shouldn't really have any issues at all. So moving forward, there is another option that's even more advanced than this. And this is what we're going to consider our top tier option. This is for somebody that wants to invest a higher dollar amount and really show that they're serious about moving into that to-go option. And I see a lot of these, I took some generic pictures here. I don't believe it's any manufacturers here locally in the States because I want to keep this a little bit generic. These are more of your touchless, fully integrated locker systems. And obviously you're going to have some major benefits here. Number one, you're going to have a fully integrated system where somebody logs into your website, your application, they place an order, and everything is done internally through the system. So operationally, that employee just has to come over and place the food in the locker. Everything else is done for them, the name, the QR code. And right now, in the quarantine situation we're at, germs are a big thing. So a lot of people are looking at quote unquote touchless options. So having a QR code built in where the customer gets that, scans it, and then the locker opens for them is something that's very, very intriguing to people right now. Now, the one thing that I always get, I don't want to say a kick out of, but the one thing that nobody mentions about this is how much work is involved to get to this level. This isn't something that you're going to be able to test in 5 or 6 stores. You are going to have an initial investment between a software company and that locker so that your POS system or your ticket system can communicate here. So when you want to have a 4 or 5 store or a 10 store location test, it's much more difficult and the level of investment is much higher. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be done. A lot of different options can be upgraded as well. So it's just something to think about because everybody hears touchless and they immediately want to go for that, but they don't understand the amount of work that needs to be done to take that machine or that piece of equipment and have it communicate so that the customer comes in with a QR code, simply scans it, and then moves on, okay? So the next question would be, I'll go ahead and stop sharing for a second. What would be the best value in this space? Now, again, this is going to be my opinion. I think there is the best value in this category would fall somewhere in the advanced where you're looking at a food locker system for a couple of reasons. The big reason I look at is, number one, it's a front of the house appeal. It looks great. It gives you some of that food security. It gives you some of that food safety as well as food quality. And I would say emphasize, make sure that the locker system you're looking at can be upgraded in the future. So when you prove out the concept that it's working really well and you've made that investment into the to-go space, if you want to take it to the next level, make sure that that piece of equipment is capable of doing that. Last but not least would be the future of this space. What does it look like? This is going to be really brief. Obviously, I'm not sure. I'd like to hear from you. Send me an email, shoot me some ideas. If you've got some ideas for a really futuristic example, maybe something I missed in this space, could be a topic for another one of our discussions. But I don't think this is going away. The to-go world has been booming for a long time, and then in the light of everything that's happened, you're seeing even more of that. This truly shows an investment into moving towards the to-go option. If you're catching this on YouTube, you can always catch us live 3 p.m. Central Time and be a part of the conversation. Send in your topics. Also, if you want to be notified when videos come up, hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified anytime we post one of our new videos. And as always, like, share, and subscribe.